Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the city of Valtimore. Look at it so far. It's turning out pretty good. As you remember from the last session, we made this wonderful ring of farms all the way around, and now we are going to start putting in some residential and stuff on the edge of the farms, and some little commercial areas too. Now, because I don't want everything to look too square, we are probably going to do a thing where in some areas the farms come up into the residential area, so not everything looks all squared off and such. And out here in the more distant areas, we are going to make things wider, which makes a lot of sense. Have these big zones here. You might have mansions spring up here for all I know. It's a distinct possibility. Even if it's low wealth housing, it's all good. Whatever the delicious people are in the mood for. Now I just sounded like a cannibal there. Oh man. Well, I don't know if you're going to hear any kind of ranting from me today, as much as I like to. There's really nothing on my mind at the moment to rant about. Although it definitely will be something I will continue to do, just because I enjoy it. But sometimes you just gotta sit back and play the game. Oh man. And after all, wait, I wanted to put a farm there. After all is said and done, we're here for the game. Anyway. Right, there we go. The farm here. Put a farm there. To a large degree, we're going to have things not be too blocky, because that would be kind of lame. But some blockiness will inevitably occur. Whoa, that's all right. We'll have a road here. So how are you guys today? I never ask you that enough, do I? Now, I know you can't really answer in real time because I'm recording this, and by the time you have seen it, the recording has finished hours or days before. Still, doesn't hurt to ask. I am curious to know how you wonderful people are doing. It's a hard world out there, man. We gotta look out for each other. So just tell me how you are doing, and you will earn nothing but happiness and companionship and such. And that's a road that sort of just ends. So let's put that there. And we are going to, in this area where the farm zones haven't developed, just going to have it link up. Going a bit of a curvy path through the farm fields and onward. A lovely start to the day. And of course, things are developing. It's good to know. I was looking over some of the few ranting suggestions that I did get in the after I asked for them, and one guy asked me to talk about where I fit on the American political spectrum, which might be an interesting topic one day. But the problem with that is I don't really conventionally fit into liberal or conservative. Well, for one thing, I don't like conservatism as an idea by and large. I mean, I think it's important to have an element in society that sort of puts the brakes on change that might be going a little bit too fast. But overall, I think that, life is about moving forward and being progressive, not being like, oh man, things back in the day when I grew up were the way that things should be, and all that kind of stuff. Not saying that's what conservatives believe, but it seems to be behind a lot of their mindset that I've noticed. So I'm definitely not a conservative, but I'm not a liberal in the traditional sense either. I mean, like I have said, I am more liberal than conservative, but that doesn't mean I am an outright liberal. I used to be, more or less, but there are many issues on which the liberals and I have found ourselves disagreeing on, and maybe I'll go over that in more detail at another time, but I don't know if today is the day for that. And one person, that same person, asked me a question I could easily answer: do I like hockey? And the answer is sure, I do like hockey. It's not my favorite sport. That would go to baseball being my favorite sport, but sure, I like hockey. I'm not a fanatic about it, but I'll watch a Flyers game if it's on, and I've been to... How many Flyers games have I been to? I think I've been to 3 Flyers games, and had a great time every time, definitely wanting to go to more. So, yeah, why not? Hockey is A-okay in the Bone Canoe Handbook. Well, wouldn't that be fun to make a Bone Canoe Handbook? And I realize when reviewing some of the videos that my mouse clicking, is very, very loud. And I just wasted a whole bunch of money. Well, not that much, really. But yeah, my mouse clicking is loud, especially because my mouse is very near the microphone. And it's on this table, which I think just reflects the sound. But, it's just part of the game. And things really aren't developing down here, but it's okay. We have time. Time to work on that. Besides, we're only playing in a pretty slow mode. I don't know if I want to really speed things up too much. Oh man. And also, I think the person was asking me to say how I felt about liberals and conservatives and various groups. And that indeed would be fun to talk about. So at some point I will talk about what I feel about liberals, conservatives, libertarians, socialist communists, and all the rest, because that would be a fun topic, I can sort of say what I like and dislike about them, and I mean, of course, it's going to come from a layman who hasn't really studied any of this in any professional way, but I don't think that's any reason why anyone should see my opinions or views as illegitimate or ill-formed, because I'm a person who's been, in this American life for X number of years, and I have observed things. So I think I, as well as anyone else who is, alive and paying even the smallest attention to what's going on, should be, considered qualified to some degree to give their opinion on such things. Now, I definitely think that, I've been paying more attention than the average person, but that doesn't mean anything I'm going to say is more or less valid than what anyone else has to say. Oh yes, it is a very fun thing. Now, one thing I did say in the past which I believe is true, is that I don't think that we are a democracy in any meaningful way anymore. I essentially think that both parties are bought off and the political system is more or less rigged. And, you might dispute me on that, but I absolutely think that it's true. And it's sad, too, because for a long time, we were, by and large, a democratic country. We brought democracy into the modern age, and now we're kind of failing at it. And as far as what I think we need to do, or could do, to bring democracy back to America, that's really hard to say, because I think the system that we've come up with is so entrenched and so self-sustaining that I don't think that anything short of a major catastrophe is going to bring it back. And I don't want a major catastrophe any more than anyone else does. So I think that's something that should be avoided. However, I don't think that if a catastrophe is going to come, that we will be able to avoid it. I think we are just going to run headlong into it. And it's what I see right now, because basically no one who has any power wants to get anything done. I mean, there are little things here and there people are trying to do, but we definitely need a lot more firm action than anyone in these political parties is willing to produce. So I am not sure how to change that. Now, one idea I've had, which is kind of, paradoxical in a way, but could ultimately be truly helpful, is wouldn't it be interesting if a short period of dictatorship was actually what brought democracy back? Because I think that could be something that could honestly work. And I know everyone's going to scream and cry about that, but I'm just thinking that if we had a benign dictator for even as few as 8 or 10 years, who basically just broke apart the current system, we could have, if that dictator, here's a key point, if that dictator was kind enough to relinquish power after a certain amount of time, we could have a democratic system after that. But the problem is finding a dictator who is going to break the systems that are in place and is going to willingly set down. I mean, a dictator like that is something of fantasy, and anyone who hopes for one is going to be very disappointed when they find out what it actually entails. So, as much as part of me hopes for that, the bigger part of me realizes that that is just as idealistic as the person who naively thinks that America is still the democracy that it claims to be. So, I am hoping that we don't have that happen. Although, at this point, it could scarcely be worse than what's going on now. Because I think even if we did have a dictator who was a bit of a dictator, but no, if we had a dictator who was a jerk, we would at least get interested in what's going on in our country and in our world again, because so many people aren't. But if you have one person that everyone loathes, that is a bonding mechanism, which is a very interesting and backhanded way to unite the people, but we really haven't had somebody to rally around, whether positive or negative. And I probably said, like back in 2008, I really thought Obama could be that person. Obama could be our person who really whips things up and changes things. But needless to say, I doubt many people will disagree with me on that.